Okay, welcome to Lights, Camera, Barstool special edition today with Klemmer as we are reviewing Eddington, Ari Aster's newest movie, and a director that I know at least we like a lot. I have no clue really how Klemmer feels, even if you've seen his previous 3 movies.
I've seen Hereditary.
And did you like it?
Thought it was overrated but interesting. Kind of like Eddington, potentially.
I wonder how you would feel about Midsommar, but I think you can get to that.
I know. I just have to see that one. No, that's on me. That's a bad spot for me.
I think if you liked Midsommar, you'd like, or if you liked Hereditary, to a
Hereditary's
degree,
okay.
you would like Midsommar then.
Tony Collette's very good.
Yeah, she's insanely. And then Florence Pugh, imagine that. Except Florence Pugh and Will Poulter and like all these very good actors.
Yeah. No, I have to watch it. It's on my short list. It is.
Yeah. Before we get to that, just a quick few news items before we do that. So first up, Kevin Feige did a big interview where he just kind of confirmed, denied certain things with Collider, I believe. So I just want to run through some of those. He confirmed that the next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day, is going to be focused on street-level crime. He was very specific. No more big world-ending things, which I think that's good. I think returning him to his roots. I know it's weird we get like this far into a character's history and then go back to street-level crime, but I think that's smart. I mean, we don't need any more world-ending stakes. We can go back to just, hey, New York or Queens Superman. I enjoy that.
Yeah, sometimes it's better, I think, in these comic book movies to not have a villain that's trying to take over the world, but rather just, like, fuck with Spider-Man's life or fuck with the hero's life. Like, personally, I think those, like, little
Haters.
thorn in your... Yeah, like a hater. Just a straight-up hater. That I would love for Spider-Man's next villain to just hate Peter Parker. We need to get Topher Grace back in the church praying for his enemy's downfall. So yeah, no, that's a great move. Now, do they stick to it?
And Bernthal is also back in his Punisher.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot more comfortable about what he's saying. At least I trust it more.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's the right thing to say. Yes.
I like the Spider-Man movies. I think they're really good. Just give me a good story. Street level crime sounds great as long as it's a good story. And like, I think someone robbing a bank is just as interesting if it's shot and written well as someone who wants to take over the world. So whatever. Yeah, let's just have an interesting story. But I kind of trust in Spider-Man. Yeah. I think those movies are really entertaining. I like the cast a lot. I like how they're shot. I like the energy in them. So I kind of trust Spider-Man.
Me too.
I won't lie, that does surprise me though, Klemmer, that you like them.
Really?
It does.
The first 2 I think are very likable, but like
the
third one is definitely where I can see getting a little.
I kind of enjoyed all of them.
You like the third one?
Yeah.
Hey, I love hearing that. I thought it was
good. I also like. I just have a kind of a soft spot for Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just a really good hero. I like that he's like flawed. He never quite thinks he's the hero that he actually is. I like all of that like self-doubt. I love the story, and I think they're shot and done really well. I don't know.
He kind of reminds me of, he's like Superman with a bit more depth to him. Like as far as like he's a little bit more of like a flawed character. He's a little bit more of like, he has more like humanity to him, I guess.
I would say whereas like Superman is the gold standard for like the
like
old age
Scout,
superheroes, like Spider-Man I think is like the gold standard for like 80s on.
That
like
next
the
age,
teenager like stand-in superhero, the teenager character.
Yeah.
Spider-Man has the best villains of any Marvel character too.
See, Doc Ock, Electro.
I mean, the Sinister Six.
Rhino, whole Sinister Six, Green Goblin. Yeah, he's got some good ones.
Sandman.
I mean,
Craven.
Batman,
Come on, Craven.
Batman,
No, Marvel.
Okay, within Marvel.
I'm drawing a line
okay.
Marvel. No,
okay.
Batman is the best villains, period.
I was about to say. Yeah.
You know what would be really good if all those villains, they just had their own universe, and they all get their own spin-off movies, but in like a separate universe made by a completely different studio. That would be good.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be great. You could call it like Sony Pictures Universe
Villains,
Spider-Man characters.
Oh no.
God damn, man. That would have been something, wouldn't it? He also confirmed that Jake Schreier, who directed Thunderbolts, is going to be directing X-Men. He said the script's already underway on that. I also think that's a positive because Thunderbolts was one of the more fresh takes Marvel's had in a long time. I don't know if like seeing Thunderbolts, I immediately thought, oh, I trust this guy with X-Men, who's like very vaulted, respected property within Marvel. But at the same time, he took a cast of characters which should not have worked at all. These are like not only are they cast offs like thematically within Marvel, but they also were just like cast off like people didn't really care about them. Don't give a fuck about Ghost, John Walker, or any of these people, and he made you care about them. So if you could do that with rejects, I don't see why he shouldn't be able to do that with like Wolverine and Professor X and Magneto. So
I liked how that movie was shot too.
Me too.
I thought Thunderbolts was like pretty well done. Like, there's a great overhead shot at one point of an action sequence that I hadn't really seen in a comic book movie before. Yeah. So like, all right, you're willing, and like, yes, was the depression stuff not very subtle and kind of hit over the head with that? Yeah, but that also could just be in the script too. I think from a direction point of view, I thought he was. Yeah, I like Thunderbolts. and B, I thought it was directed pretty well. I don't know. Let's give him to X-Men, sure.
It was for sure like the best directed movie from that phase. I don't know. I can't think of like all the movies from that phase, but it was markedly like a fresh new step for them, like in the technical categories. Like,
Yes.
however you feel about the story, it looked great. Like the practical stuff really showed through. Well acted, and the X-Men are definitely like a more premier brand, of course, than Thunderbolts. But like I do think the idea of like cast-offs still kind of
It applies for
it
sure.
graphs across. So I do think he is a nice pick, and like you said, he did a great job with Thunderbolts. So yeah, no, fresh new blood. You got Schreier now. We got Destin Daniel Cretton.
Dude,
I don't know.
yeah. It's a good crew.
Yeah.
He also said there were 4 different versions of Blade that were working at once, and that they finally decided on modern day. I don't think this movie's ever getting made. I don't think Blade is ever happening.
No.
Just give up on Blade for now and reset it somewhere down the line.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm James Gunn, I'm calling Mahershala Ali and being like, "You should make whatever fucking movie you
Anything
wanna
you want.
anything you want." Just to, I mean, be power
Do
move.
fucking Static Shock, like.
I don't know how they fumbled this one so bad.
Yeah.
It's all on the table. I have to imagine there had to be something up top that kept them from really making a proper Blade movie.
Yeah,
Because otherwise, it's like, what's the holdup here?
it's a no-brainer.
You can do Deadpool and Wolverine R-rated, but we can't get an R-rated Blade. I just really don't understand what was happening there the whole time.
We've talked about it before. I like Blade still. I like the Wesley Snipes Blade
I
originally.
wish I thought it was great. He's always so charismatic. Wesley Snipes is like one of those guys where you kind of forget how great he was, and you put on like, White Man Can't Jump.
I'm
You're
like,
like, holy shit, this guy is so good.
Yeah, even like watching like Demolition Man, I'm like, he's
Yep.
got it, man. He's,
Demolition Man's a pretty good movie.
I agree. I'm right there with you. He also said they can't bring Miles Morales into the universe yet. I think that's probably for the best. Like, let's get some space between all these things.
Especially like considering like, are you gonna do a better Miles Morales than what we have right now?
it's
Like
not happening.
you're not gonna do it.
Because Peter Parker's still a kid. Like,
Yeah.
let's wait for him to get in his 30s before we start introducing another kid.
Yeah, and then lastly, he said that Secret Wars is going to reset singular timelines and reboot the MCU in a way. He said it's like part of a new 7-year plan that'll run us into 2030.
Whatever, just make fucking good movies.
Yeah, that's
just
really
relax, dude.
I'm kind of sick of like the runway talk and all that too. I'm just like put care and effort into the stories, and that's it. And, like, so I saw someone post that before. Like, part of the reason some DC movies are a little bit better than some of the MCU movies is they're more focused on singular story versus continuity. And I think I would generally agree with that. Although I don't think all DC movies are good, especially during the Snyder era.
No. But the reason Marvel movies are not good or their weakness is that they are so tied to the next movie coming out that they ignore the story in front of them, which I feel like Thunderbolts didn't really do. I felt like Thunderbolts cared about the story in front of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm hoping Fantastic Four cares about the story in front of us.
Well, that's what Feige did say that. I think same interview. No homework for Fantastic Four, which thumbs up.
Big thumbs up. We're going to see it by the time this comes out. Me and Gooch will have already seen it.
Yeah, I'm going to see it Friday, so I'm excited.
Yeah, us too. We're very pumped up about it. And then just a couple other trailer things. Mortal Kombat trailer came out. It looked whatever. Simon McCoy, Carl Urban coming in as fucking what's his name, Johnny Cage. Fan favorite champions now joined by Johnny Cage himself are pitted up against each other in the ultimate battle to defeat the dark rule of Shao Kahn. I'm not a big Mortal Kombat person.
Yeah.
The movie that came out recently, some of it was cool, like action wise, and then some of it was very like, all right, what are we doing here? Let's move on. I don't know that I was dying for a sequel. I don't know what the Mortal Kombat fan base is like if they're roaring for this. So I don't know. It didn't look great.
Yeah, the first one did, like you said, have some fun action set pieces, but for the most part felt like a fan-made like YouTube movie, like for long stretches of it. And I don't have the tied-in like nostalgia for Mortal Kombat. I just don't. I didn't play those games growing up.
I do have the tied-in nostalgia. I have no interest in this movie. I did not see. I saw the original one in the 90s.
Yeah,
which was a lot better, I think.
But
it has like a campiness to it that makes it a lot more fun.
It's also like the reason the Mortal Kombat game was so cool was because it had these finishing moves that were incredibly cartoonishly violent, and that was funny. That was the reason Mortal Kombat games were awesome.
You're not there for the story, you know?
No, there's no story. It's like weird characters, and if you do a certain combination on joystick, a crazy death comes. That's why Mortal Kombat games were awesome. No one was clamoring for a movie even in 1996. No, I don't think anyone's clamoring for a movie in 2025.
Yeah, it was kind of shocking. I like most of these people involved though, like Joe Taslim, Hiroyuki Sanada, what do you call it? Who do we got? Carl Urban, like you mentioned before, Louis Tan, like these are all good actors. It's just that I don't know that this is something I'm dying for. Tron Ares.
Klemmer, how do you feel about Chun-Li? You think you could handle that?
Chun-Li?
Yeah.
Like fight him?
It's a woman.
It's a woman.
Oh, her? I don't
Oh
know.
yeah,
I
she's
don't
the
know
one.
who
She's
she
the one.
is.
She's the one with the big old legs.
And
She kicks.
Could I handle her? Oh,
She's
shoot.
This is like honestly the only thing I really
Shit.
know about Mortal Kombat is because
This
people
character.
post her so much.
Oh, the character. Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Could you handle
I
that?
never played this. I was more the like Raiden was more my guy. Like,
Yeah.
And there's also a big, tall, skinny guy who also would play him because it was funny.
Don't know him. I know Raiden though.
Guile. I think it's
Guile
Mortal
was
Kombat,
Street
right?
Fighter.
Oh, it's Street Fighter. Damn, there's too much. I confuse them a lot.
Yeah, they came out around the same time. Street
Yeah.
Fighter was a little earlier, and Mortal Kombat was like the cooler version of Street Fighter.
Yeah,
when it came out.
R-rated. And then lastly, another video game thing. Tron Ares trailer dropped. Highly sophisticated program, Ares is sent from the digital world into the real world on a dangerous mission. No more Joseph Kosinski, who's now I think becoming one of our favorite just action directors. He's so talented, crazy good. Directed the first one. I like Tron Legacy quite a bit. I think it was very well done as far as like you're talking about a remake of a movie that when you watch the original Tron now, it's kind of tough effects wise to get.
Tough effects wise.
But the Legacy was great. I really enjoyed it. Liked the nostalgia they brought in, and then also like forging their own path. This one though, not directed by him. It's directed by Joachim Roning, and then Jeff Bridges back. But then Jared Leto is now the big star of it. There's such like a stink on Jared Leto for me, where I'm just like I don't care to see anything he's in right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that stink is. I mean he doesn't shower, so
that is a big part of it.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I do see what people are saying. Jared Leto is fucking insufferable. If you don't want to go see a movie because he's in it, I get it. Like he is loaded, just a terrible human being too. But I do think in spots he can really act, and I think this
Blade
is like
Runner.
I think this is like a spot that he really fits very well, and everything else on paper excites me. There's a great cast alongside of
Evan
him.
Peters.
Yeah, it goes real deep. I like they didn't get Daft Punk back, but they got like the next best thing, and Reznor and Ross to do a score, which could be just something really cool and new. And visually, I think it looks great again. I'm kind of in on this movie. I think if they didn't have Jared Leto leading this thing, it could be a huge, massive hit. I think it will still be a big hit.
Think so?
I do.
What did the last one do?
It's like just one of those family movie brands that I think people. I actually don't think the last one did well, so I could be way off on this.
That's why I don't.
I made 400 million.
That's
What
not
did
bad.
you do?
That's pretty damn good.
I'll double check.
400 million is pretty good.
Yeah,
It's pretty fucking
but
good.
I mean, it falls into like the Jurassic World kind of like, the brand,
172 domestic.
and you'll be just entertained.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and it made over its budget back just in domestic.
So yeah, I
That's
think,
that's a pretty good take for Tron. This kind of
For Tron, a dead video game adaptation. Yeah.
No, all right. I mean, I think the trailer looked like it had incredible effects. It cuts like this car in half. It's kind of cool. The world always seems so dour to me. It's like, ugh, it's just like everything's kind of depressing. But there's enough talented people involved, and I'm pretty intrigued. Like I'll gladly go see this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. You have no choice.
I know.
is this the first Greta Lee starring role since Past Lives?
Yeah,
Like,
Is it
obviously-
really?
Only
It
supporting.
might be. I can't think of what she's been in since then.
I don't think anything, right?
Yeah.
The studio is not a movie.
Yeah, you can't.
Like,
yeah, and she played herself.
No,
you can't really
played
count that.
herself.
That's not-
Shoot, I can't think of anything.
I
else
haven't
she's
seen
been
her
in.
anything this year.
Yeah.
And I've seen everything. She's very good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I mean, this I'm intrigued by this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we could talk about Eddington, a movie that I will say when this was initially announced, it was like, hey, Ari Aster is doing like a Western sort of movie with Joaquin Phoenix coming back and Pedro Pascal. I was like, oh, cool.
Emma
And then
Stone.
Emma Stone and
Austin
like, oh,
Butler.
awesome, cool. And then like, yeah, it's set during COVID. All of a sudden, it's like, it kind of makes you like hesitate a little bit. So in May of 2020, a standoff between a small town sheriff and a mayor sparks a powder keg as neighbor is pitted against neighbor in Eddington, New Mexico. Written and directed by Ari Aster, starring Joaquin Phoenix, Deidre O'Connell, Emma Stone, Michael Ward, Pedro Pascal, Austin Butler. Although half these people I wouldn't even consider being really even in this movie, like kind of at all. So for this movie, I think that what I struggle with is that kind of the same thing as Beau is Afraid, where it's like Ari Aster in his head is like, I'm going to try and get to as many things as possible and I feel like I can hit 100% on all those things, and he can't. There's just too much shit going on. It's an overstuffed movie. It's a lot of different things he's trying to touch on, and he really doesn't get to explore all of them in the runtime he has, which is still already long. So what he has, and I was talking to you about this too, Klemmer, earlier, he tries to say a lot and in turn says nothing, like what you're saying, and that to me was very frustrating. But at the same time, he's such a good director in the, maybe not in this case the storytelling sense, but in the all the technical sense, that it's, you still end up with a movie that, even though to me it's probably his worst of his catalog, I would say it could easily be the best of a lesser director's catalog, because there are parts of it, like the third act, I think some people are kind of flip-floppy on, but like I think the way he shot a lot of that third act is fucking crazy, super suspenseful. Like, it reminds me of like the best of the best he does with Hereditary and Beau's Afraid, or not Beau's Afraid, but Hereditary and well, actually, yeah, honestly, and Beau and Afraid is very afraid too. So like all that stuff is good. The Joaquin Phoenix, I think, does a really good job playing like a specific type of guy, which definitely exists. That like guy who's like in this upper middle age that thinks he needs to be the man, but he clearly isn't the man. Like, that guy exists, and I think he plays that expertly. But a lot of the other things, I feel like it was kind of waste of time for Emma Stone. Is a waste of time for Austin Butler. It was like even Pedro Pascal. Honestly, like what the fuck is he doing here? Like, it's just, it felt like I wish he had the focus that he had, Ari Aster, in his first two movies for these last two, because in this it's just very scattered. And then in Beau's Afraid, at the very least, I respect him swinging for the fences, like, hey, these are all the weird shit, all the things going on in my brain. I'm just gonna throw them on screen as a nightmare. And that, to me, at least, I respected as like a swing. This felt safe, and I did not appreciate that really at all. Gooch.
Yeah, no, Ari Aster has been a director that I have been very hot and cold on. I was with you. I really liked Hereditary, but I definitely thought, and there's going to be some 20-year-olds who scream at me for this, thought it was very overrated. I mean, like, people were calling it like the best horror movie of the 21st century. It's very good. It is not that, at least in my opinion. Midsommar, better for me. I love Florence Pugh, and I think she's just knockout in that, and it's so cool. Everything he shoots in that movie, like the daylight horror, it's trippy. It's almost like you're on LSD while you're watching it. Very cool, trantic movie. And then Beau is Afraid comes out, and I fucking hated that movie. And when I found out he's teaming back up with Joaquin Phoenix again and doing a COVID movie, I was like, I might just be out on this shit. I might be done with this. And then I go see the movie, and it's uncomfortable for sure. And I get out of it, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be a fun thing to talk about, but this is a really impressive movie. And the more I've thought about it, I've really wanted to talk to people about it.
Yes.
Really, there's a lot to chew on. You are right in that he's going a million different directions with it. But I think he's so precise and narrow in like his view, and it's so vivid, the picture that he's creating. It's so prescient. Like, it feels, he's the first filmmaker to really make a movie that feels like 2021 or post 2021. Especially the way technology is used throughout the movie. The screens are always present, but that's the way our lives are. He shoots it so naturally. We'll talk more finer details. There are some stuff in the back third, which I really hated the first go around, and I saw it again last night with my girlfriend and came around on. I'm landing pretty positively on this. I kind of want to see it again.
You're going to spend like 8 hours of your life watching this.
And I think that's a testament to like how well this thing is really made, is because it's a 2.5 hour. It's a very uncomfortable 2.5 hour movie about COVID, about things that I don't know if we're all ready to really revisit. And I want to go back to it again. I was very impressed. And the performances too, which we'll talk about. But I think it's Joaquin's best performance, and at least since Joker, maybe even past. I like the Joker performance, but I think this is some of his best work. He's really good in this.
Klemmer?
It's a crowded, overstuffed movie.
There we go.
He doesn't know what he wants to say. I feel like you said a narrow view. I felt like narrow view, maybe how it's shot. It's shot beautifully. The cinematography is incredible. Yeah. It's well done. But he doesn't know what he wants to say. He's trying to say everything, and when you do that, you often say nothing. It's a shame, because this might be one of the most interesting movies of the year. Mm-hmm. Like, I completely agree with you. Like, I couldn't wait to talk to people about seeing this. Mm-hmm. And that's a nice check mark for the movie. That's a good thing. Mm-hmm. When you watch a movie and you can't wait to talk about it, that's a good thing. I just wish it was better. I wish he was more focused on what he was trying to say. I think he has a lot of fun pointing out the hypocrisy of the time and how, like, you know, everyone pretended they cared about something when, you know, like, why did you even pretend to care? And it delves into that a little bit, especially with young people, which maybe some young people might not like seeing that. I think that's funny. But then it will then flip around, and then by the third act, I emotionally was checked out of this movie. I'm not going to go into spoilers here, but it gets so ridiculous and so absurd that I just didn't care anymore. And that's not a good thing for a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a unique issue. I don't think like I'm the only one who had that same feeling. I think a lot of people had that feeling watching it. But as far as making you feel like you're in 2020, Aster did an incredible job with that. As far as like bringing back kind of like that, just that. Like walking into a supermarket, man, like you got anxiety, and like especially like in April, May, June, when you're like, and someone says in the movie like, oh, it lives on cardboard for 5 weeks or whatever. I remember going to the supermarket, like I would immediately come home and I just like shower. I'm like, I don't want to. What is this thing? Who knows? And then they're like, it might not. It's a very small town in New Mexico. It's 2,000 people live there, and they're like, it probably isn't even here yet. And they're probably right. COVID probably wasn't there yet. Yep. And everyone's freaking out. And I understand. We all felt that way. And he does a great job with kind of that. I don't say paranoia, but kind of that feeling of like panic and anxiety. So that's all present, and that's all there. And the hypocrisy as far as people pretending to care about things and protesting and all of this stuff. And then some people actually do care. Maybe the people that do care the most can get involved because of their jobs. Like it does a great job with all of that. But the problem was the story itself. How you feel in the setting is masterfully done. The story itself is incredibly weak. And you could even say it doesn't even exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think we could kind of start on that too, just the general story. And we'll talk about some spoiler stuff here, so if you haven't seen it yet, I would skip forward.
So we're doing spoilers starting now?
Yeah, now we can start spoilers. I do think that a big issue with me is that it's so, like, it's almost like high schoolerish, and like Aster's like, did you know that Republicans and Democrats are both hypocrites? Did you know that they both were in social silos? Did you know they were both in these bubbles? It's like, yeah, we know. But like that can't be the point of your movie, is that both sides are stupid and looking at misinformation and like all these things. Like, yeah, we know that. And I find that such like a weak, like saying nothing take.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I'm not saying if I want him to take a stance in one direction and be like, yeah, Republicans are right, yeah, Democrats are right. I don't want that either. I just don't think that it just saying what we already know is more like almost like documentarian than it is like art. You know what I mean? That to me is so just weak and nothing. And it reminded me a bit of, and I don't know if you would agree with this, a little bit of Civil War. And like, you know how like the Civil War is the backdrop of that movie? It has nothing to do with the movie.
And in fact, Civil War went out of their way not to say anything.
Exactly.
Like, and it was so cowardly, and that's a movie I despised because it was so cowardly.
Yeah.
And I felt like this had more balls than that movie did, but the same kind of thing. It said nothing.
Yeah, it's like it has nothing to do with what you're saying. And like when you add this sort of element to your movie, like this COVID storyline, all these other things, it's like you're clearly trying to evoke something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like if you're trying to evoke something, don't back out and say nothing. You know what I mean? Like that to me, it was very lame, and it turned me off. But it again, some of the other stuff, like the whole sort of, you've seen the movie Falling Down, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is very similar to
theaters.
Yeah, very similar to me to like kind of Falling Down, the story of Joe Cross, where it's like he hits this sort of like mental breaking point to like dissociative state, where he's just like, I need to now.
But I feel like Falling Down, though, Falling Down, by the way, is not a great movie. It has interesting. It has some parts of Robert Duvall, Michael Douglas. Check it out. It's definitely worth seeing if you love movies. But that movie, while it is flawed, did say something.
Exactly.
Like, this is how, we're kind of disenfranchising a certain member, certain classes. Yeah. This is also how other classes are being completely, like, ignored. Like, it was saying interesting things.
Yeah.
Maybe the story wasn't the best, but it at least had statements. This, I felt like, had half statements. Or would say something and then completely say the opposite 5 minutes later.
Yeah. That's where it kind of bothered me. Because, like, I think if you have that general story of the Joe Cross character, where it's, like, him hitting that, mental breaking point and sort of going after this, like, I think a lot of, like, upper middle-aged like suburban dudes feel like they dream about that scenario.
Yes, the shootout.
The shootout, versus, like, the authorities and, like, I'm finally taking justice against the bad guys. They dream about that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think that he hit that guy perfectly, Joaquin Phoenix did, and the story hits that note perfectly, but it's just all this shit around it has no bearing on what's going on with that story. And I feel like if you strip away all this other stuff, which, by the way, he wrote this movie over 5 years before Hereditary, and then rewrote it after COVID and added all this shit in, which makes a lot of sense when you
it does,
in retrospect. I think if you keep that core story, it would have been fantastic. Mm-hmm. But I think once you add in all this other shit, it really just detracted a lot for me.
See, I felt it was less solely about Joe Cross and that, the archetype of what you're talking about, the middle-aged suburban man thinking he's going to take the world's matters into his own hands. I think it was more like just about all of it. Like, it's not saying a lot, like you said. I disagree with that, actually.
Well, like, what do you think it says, I guess?
The feature, I would say the biggest feature of the movie is for sure the way he captured that time period, for sure. But I think what he's saying about that time period is how it changed us really just fundamentally as a society. We had all the characters in this movie come into the film really broken. I mean, truly like have at-home issues that have completely messed them up. And the movie's saying, look at this time period. We all ended up home. These people who had these problems existing with their home life, they didn't look inward. They got online, and those were the people most susceptible to any kind of radicalization, whether that's right or left, and we're still living with it now. So I thought that was just very, very prescient. I haven't seen a movie be able to articulate that.
See, I saw it a little differently. I saw it like we hadn't changed at all. Like, it showed us, like, the George Floyd stuff, and like, we all these black squares on our Instagram. But then, like, this time now, that's not like everyone kind of forgot about the thing they supposedly cared so much about. Especially like kind of indictment on white people, young white people.
Yep.
Like, like you guys are all like pretending you care about this topic, when meanwhile one guy's doing it just to get, two guys doing it just to get with a girl. The girl's doing it.
For like social capital,
right?
She's an influencer and all that.
Yeah, so like everyone's doing it. No one's doing it for right reasons, and that's why you have a homeless guy throughout the movie. That is an interesting character.
Yeah,
and the fact that everyone thinks they're the moral authority, but yet everyone's ignoring this guy that actually needs help. That's right in front of them. Literally right in front of them that needs help, and no one gives a fuck about him.
Yeah,
and that is a lot of this movie's about hypocrisy, I think, and when you're doing that, it's difficult to tell a story, because how do you tell a story about hypocrites? Because no one's believing anything.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge Aster has here. That's hard to figure out for him, and also for the audience.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that I like a lot of the writing as far as like their dialogue between each other, especially like the back and forth between what was his name, Ted,
Ted Garcia.
I can't remember. I cannot remember any of these names. I've been calling Joaquin Phoenix in my head. He's Eddie Eddington.
Eddie Eddington. Yeah. But I liked a lot of their dialogue. Another thing that kind of frustrated me, though, again, and I mentioned this earlier, is why have Emma Stone in this? Like, why
use her for that role?
For like, why? Like, if you have so much shit going on already, it's like, let me also give this guy a fucking bizarro world wife with like insane mental issues that no one can narrow down, and also let me have this like. Do you remember Bad Times at the El Royale?
Yeah,
like the Chris Hemsworth priest character.
Austin Butler.
We just have this priest character come in for 5 lines and then bounce. And it's Austin Butler. Like, why? That, to me, that's something that really frustrates me in Hollywood. It's like, I'm going to bill you Austin Butler as an audience member. I'm going to bill you Emma Stone as an audience member and give them 10 lines. And that, to me, is also a frustrating thing.
This could have been it's crazy. I never say this. This probably should have been a 6-hour movie or a 6-hour Netflix.
Or a miniseries.
Because, like, the Emma Stone stuff. So, Emma Stone in this movie, she obviously was molested by her father. And I think the way you kind of figure that out, I think, is actually pretty well done by Aster. It's like how it's like, like the mom's defending this dad, built this dad up because that's the only way through denial she can live with the fact that she knows that he was molesting her daughter. So that's all, and I think that's also like some real life stuff for some people that like is interesting, a very dark storyline, but an interesting storyline that people could kind of that could create some real discussion. And then she does get, radicalized by people who have gone through similar trauma, and that's kind of where her story ends up. But it feels so rushed, and we never really this is a heavy topic. I mean, incest and child rape, like, it's horrible stuff that kind of just gets brushed aside because we got to focus on 30 minutes with Antifa terrorists. Yeah, it's like, all right, at that point, then, like, I don't care about your movie anymore. Like, at that point, it's like, all right, I'm emotionally disconnecting from your movie because you've eschewed an interesting topic for now you just want the glory of an action shootout. It's like, all right, what are you?
Yeah, so talk about the third act, actually. That's
third act.
Where does the third act? All right, can I ask this? Where does the third act begin?
The flight, the airplane.
Yeah,
the flight.
Like once you see them all flying in.
Right.
Okay.
That's what my.
I was thinking right at the Pedro Pascal shot when I first watched it. Right.
Not when he kills the homeless guy. Because when he kills a homeless guy, that's basically saying
Yes.
the soul is gone now.
Yes. I'm sorry. The homeless guy first, and then the Ted.
And
Ted gets
and
shot.
Ted's kid.
Ted gets shot. What? 5 minutes later.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the next scene.
So yes, first viewing, I was like, I'd forgotten completely the length of this movie, really,
Yeah.
and so I was assuming this is the third act. This is where everything ramps up, and we're coming to a chaotic end. And then I realized, oh, this is gonna be really long. Once that plane came in,
I almost feel like, even bizarrely, like maybe how Ted dies might be like the end, the close of the second act, because the third act just becomes absurdist.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, Antifa terrorists, like what are you saying here? Like what are you trying to tell me?
did you
Ari
not
Aster?
take that as they obviously are fake crisis actors?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're on a private plane. Yeah.
But the idea is that there are larger external forces at play, really manipulating the public and creating these divisions and basically just trying to create chaos and manipulate people however they can and clear the way for solid gold magic carp to come into
Yes.
the city. But I agree. The action really did. Everything up until that point is absurd, but it's very believable within the context of that time period. Once that happens and Antifa comes on the plane and there's a shootout, it is
Bombs going off.
It's
yeah.
like, wow, this is a
And it's
new
not just
movie.
a shootout. I mean, they have some intense. I mean, we have major weapons. I mean, this is like
It's like a war
this is
zone.
a war
Pyrotechnics.
zone.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm supposed to believe that these crisis actors, okay, fine, you can believe in crisis actors or not, whatever, come in fully loaded for a town of 2,000 people. Like, what do we like? The whole premise of this entire movie up to that point is this is a very small town that kind of is a little bit like representing all of America in 2020. Okay, fine, but they are still a small town. The very first title shot is the population. It's 2,000 people. And I'm supposed to believe that these crisis actors armed with millions of dollars of weapons are trying to kill this sheriff. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? It felt a little bit like by the end, I'm like, this is just directed, just doesn't have an editor, or doesn't have the studio just letting him do what he wants, which
is crazy after Bo's
Yes.
Afraid.
Yeah, I mean,
and now we've just reached chaos and just silliness, and it's a shame because at some point, like I said, I watched it obviously, but emotionally I'm disconnecting from you.
no, I agree. That's narratively, it is my biggest complaint of the movie is that one Antifa storyline, and I say that, but I really love the way that shit looked. I'll tell you what,
so
that is
technical.
like a completely different gear from Aster. This is by far is like most American looking movie, and you can feel the Coen brothers fucking all over this thing, especially in that last
Even in the
40
comedy,
minutes.
even in the humor.
And it just looked gorgeous. The shootout, I mean, you have that New Mexico landscape. You have the old John Ford isms of the horizon's almost always at the top of the screen in this movie, by the way, which I noticed on the second go around. Just beautifully shot, and the way they're using that camera in the middle of the town, it's whipping around Joe's head, and he's whipping around too, and it's
crazy.
so paranoid. I mean, like, narratively, I agree. It's like it takes a turn that I just don't think really works in contrast to the first 2.5 hours, which are more reserved. But it just looks so good. It's so great. It's so effective at making you feel what it wants you to feel.
What did it want me to feel?
It wants you to feel the paranoia that Joe feels.
I mean, you feel that when you go to a supermarket. I don't need fake terrorists to do. So there's a great scene in the movie. He goes to a supermarket, and he actually goes up to a supermarket. There's a guy in there saying, "Hey, I can't." Is an older man. He's like, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe with the mask on. Like, it's hard for me to breathe anyway. Put the mask on. I can't breathe. I need to go and get groceries." Very real struggle in 2020.
Yeah.
You know, you have some people kind of judging him. You have some people kind of feel bad for him. And the sheriff's like, "Listen, just let him go shop. Like, what are we doing here?"
Yeah.
And they let him in. And then Joe also, he has asthma as well. He goes in without a mask.
And the guy, did you see the one guy behind him, the older guy? He takes it off emphatically
Yeah.
after the chair.
Yeah, you have another guy take it away, like almost like rebelliously takes the
Yes.
mask off. And eventually they're escorted out. And Joe has to kind of use his clout even to get this guy groceries. And one point he's like, "Hey, like, how are we treating people here? What are we doing here? Have we lost kind of touch of that? Like, what are we're so obsessed with this mask, and I'm so obsessed with kind of being what we consider to be healthy or avoiding this that we've lost touch of our community." That to me is an interesting story. That same story having a massive shootout with weapons you can't imagine, chasing on ATVs. Like, what happened here? Like, the movie then spirals out. But I think it's a shame because some of those other instances I think are really interesting. And I'm with you guys. You hear COVID, you're like, ugh. But it's like, no, I think it's interesting to have these conversations now a little bit. Like, we all wore these masks. Like,
Yeah,
are our grandkids gonna make fun of us for
absolutely.
shutting the world down for the flu?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what we did, and it's like, wow. And I know people died, and I feel horrible that old people died, but old people also might have died from the flu or might have died from other things eventually too. Like, we stopped everything. We kept kids, and that was a great interaction. Peter Pascal and his son. His son's like, I need to go see people. I'm gonna kill myself. I need I'm a young person. I need socialization.
Yeah.
And like, those are things I think it is interesting to revisit now because we definitely made a lot of wrong choices.
Yeah, we have to talk about it at some point. We have to talk about it. And this feels like, has there been another movie that has
Michael Bay?
The Michael Bay
that piece
Songbird,
of
but
shit.
that doesn't even count.
There was
That's
a
just
COVID
like
movie that came out in 2022 when I was doing it at a theater near me, a very small one about like these people are kind of it's a guy and a girl and they're trapped in the house. They go on one date and their world's just down there. They're trapped in this house together.
Wait, there was the one with what's her name, Zoe Kravitz. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Not
Where,
Kimmy. Not Kimmy.
It is.
Is it Kimmy?
Is it Kimmy?
Was Kimmy COVID? No,
I
right?
didn't see
There's
that
one where they were like they live across the street from each other, right?
That was
a COVID movie.
Fucking, what was that called?
Yeah, but that one too.
There's been a couple small ones. I feel like this is the biggest one.
This is the one that really takes it on head on. Like, we got to talk about what this was like and what did it do to us.
Yeah.
And what did we do wrong?
Yes.
Like, and like, how do we behave? Like, the George Floyd stuff, that's obviously now still in the race, but like, why were people reacting the way they were, and why don't we react like that now?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why did we quote unquote stop caring? Which is an interesting topic. Why did we we all wore these masks because our politicians told us to? Why were our politicians scaring us so much?
Yeah.
Those are questions I'd like to talk
that
about.
was one of the biggest questions I had from the movie. Was just like, how long until a COVID movie no longer feels like cringy or awkward to watch? You know what I mean? Because like that is something I feel watching this. I'm like, oh, we did that. Oh, we did. And I do feel like this is a movie where like in 20 years from now or 20, 30 years from now, when kids watch this, they're gonna be like, that is the definitive like COVID movie.
I do not.
I think this will age incredibly
I think
well.
this is just the first. I think there'll be other movies that come out in the next 20 years that will do a better job telling the COVID story than this one. This was a mess.
So one of your favorite movies, All the President's Men. What'd that
No,
come
I would say
out?
one of my favorite movies I respect a lot.
3 years after Watergate?
Correct.
Apocalypse Now?
But All the President's Men was also based on a brilliant book.
That is true.
This was Ari Aster, who is a interesting director, but a chaotic one.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not one this movie made $4 million. Like, this is not going to be the definitive COVID movie. It is the definitive COVID movie as of right now, at this very date. But you tell me 5 years from now, there's not going to be...
right now, I don't think it is. And I'm saying that I think it's going to... I would agree with Gooch. I think it's going to age better the further we get away from...
There'll be better movies that are much more appealing to a mainstream audience, that are more focused by better filmmakers. Okay. That will be the... COVID is the biggest event of our lives. COVID's a bigger event in a lot of ways than 9/11. I understand both sides of it, but like, because 9/11 did affect everyone. I mean, it affects how we go travel and everything else, and obviously some people died. It's horrible. But and we had then a war for 2 decades, which was a horrible thing.
But it also at the same time didn't totally affect I feel like the day to day of a person in the United States. This did.
I think 08 housing crisis would be the next closest thing for my lifetime.
But like even then it was like,
and even that was regional.
Didn't feel that.
Like in New England, you were
everyone in the country felt COVID. You know what I mean?
Not everyone felt the housing crisis because like New England, for instance, Northeast was a bit more safer from it because the economics of it, but like Vegas was destroyed. Like, so it all depends on where you lived and how much you were hit. But that was certainly a big deal, of course.
Yes.
But COVID, I mean, we were rationing toilet paper.
Yeah,
that was like, and also you just never knew when it was going to end, and that was kind of terrifying. And you kind of Aster did a good job with that in this. Like, it never really had you never really knew when this was going to conclude. You just knew that you're living in a sense of panic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think that the biggest issue I have with the movie is just that he's trying to tug on a lot of different storylines, and instead of focusing on doing one thing 100% and acing that, it was like the jack of all trades, masters of none type deal in this, and that frustrated me. But at the same time, there's still a lot about this movie I did like. Again, the way he shoots movies, I think, is so like a next level type of director. You know what I mean? Not many people can do it the same way he can. And as much as I would agree, I didn't totally love the whole third act idea, the way he shot the shootout was fucking crazy. I thought it was really cool.
It's insane.
Insane.
It really is one of the better looking things I've seen all year.
Like super suspenseful, like the way he like his camera moving, like all that stuff. Like you feel his sort of like panic brain and all that. I love that. I did like some of the characters too. I think the way he portrayed teens throughout this was expert. I think he did like the Black Lives Matter Brian, which we were talking about before. That kid rocks.
We were talking about that before. His name just being Black Lives Matter Brian.
Yeah.
Very funny. Which that both showings, that was by far one of the biggest laughs I've had in the theater all year.
Laugh. Was the father
the
talking
father.
to the son. I mean, that was,
yeah.
And everyone I've talked to Feige, Jeff D'Lo, like a bunch of people, like we all talked about just how like what a great scene that was.
Yeah.
You're white.
Yeah, you're white. Are you yeah.
I mean, you know, it is what the kid's saying is absolutely ridiculous. Now, talking about race and is interesting. The way he presented it was so ridiculous.
It was. It's so like they all regurgitated the same thing over and over and over again.
I can tell when someone learns something new in social studies.
Yeah,
that
right.
line
That's a great line.
Yes, exactly. And I think that the way that they portrayed those teens is really well done. I do think a lot, like having like the different versions of the cops, I think was good. And again, Joaquin, I think, like you were saying, I would agree, definitely his best acting job since Joker, at least, if not maybe further back than that, because he was. That is such a very specific real life guy that I think he portrays perfectly. And I think if you've ever seen like political ads for like sheriffs and stuff, like when they're posting on Facebook, blah blah, whatever else, he's exactly like them. Yeah, like he hits that right on the head. And Pedro Pascal, good like regular governor guy that like is presenting the most amiable face in the world, and then like sees his, like when they're off camera, this kid like shut this bitch up, like blah,
and he's
blah.
making deals with his backers. He's like completely controlled by his backers. He's putting out just shameful political ads, like the most
playing the piano in the street.
Oh
and there were some really funny details in this movie.
Yes, for sure.
I'll say this too, like for a general audience, I do not recommend this movie for average. If you like this podcast and you love talking about movies, you should see this movie.
Yes.
So like. It's because it's just an interesting movie. If you love movies and if you're listening to this conversation, I'm guessing you do, then you should see this movie. But if you're average person, I don't think this is a movie I would recommend, and the box office is showing that.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of the deal with I feel like most of his. I don't even think Hereditary.
Hereditary is probably not.
Midsummer did huge numbers. I think that was their biggest hit up until Civil War.
Yeah. Everything all at once.
Oh
right?
Yes, I guess that
still did more than Civil War. I think right.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other things that I liked from the movie because there was a decent amount.
I think Mama Penguin,
she
Deirdre
rocked,
O'Connell,
great,
very good performance, very good.
Very good.
Pedro was kind of a nothing burger again for me.
For like the 15th.
I like him in this.
I like him in this, but
I'm a Pedro guy.
It really is becoming, and I hate when people are like they cast the same 4 actors and everything. Pedro is a bit overexposed right now.
Yeah.
Which isn't helping my I go see a lot of movies, so I see him all the time.
We're about to see him again.
I know. I'm seeing him tonight.
You're seeing him tonight, yeah.
I'm a Pedro Pascal guy, so I'm.
I like him too much. I wish he gets more room to do stuff, which is what I hated about in like Gladiator 2, or what I hated about in like a lot of recent stuff, where it's just I'm going to cast Pedro Pascal for the word cloud, and I'm going to give him 10 lines to do, where he's not going to get a chance to really explore a character. He's doing a lot of supporting shit.
This is why this movie should have been 6 hours. I think you could have a whole 2-hour movie about Ted Garcia.
Yeah,
his wife left him. We don't know. We never really find out why. Like that's the thing too. Is like this movie created these plot elements and then never paid off on them.
Might have been a great miniseries. It might have been a
He's above that.
Ari Aster?
He's above that. But a 4-hour movie would be. I mean, like if you're gonna do this movie, it's already. You're talking about a COVID movie, a Western movie that's gonna dive into all these things we're diving into. Black Lives Matter. Vaccinations, the political right and left extremists, and Antifa, we're all over the map here. It's already not a very accessible movie, although much more accessible than Beau is Afraid, which is like something that no normal person can really get into that movie. But it's already not a very accessible movie. Why not just fucking make it? Just make the big epic 4 hours. You're already at 2.5 hours. You're right. Just add on the time.
The director's cut. I mean, I can't imagine that's that much harder. There wasn't like crazy effects or anything. I'm sure you can.
No.
I wasn't bored. Like this thing is like 2.5-hour run night. You see that, you're like, ugh. I wasn't bored during this movie. I had seen the same day I saw I Know What You Did Last Summer, and like that was 110 minutes, and that was, I think honestly like they're not dissimilar as far as how I feel overall about the movies. Like but Eddington's obviously a much better movie, and I was never bored during it. I was bored during I Know What You Did Last Summer. So like. That movie does exactly what you kind of expect it to do in a cheap and sloppy, Saved by the Bell, new class fashion. Where at least Eddington's like, all right, this guy's trying. I got to give Ari Aster credit. Like, this entire movie isn't for me, but he's trying a bunch of different stuff. He's shooting it brilliantly. He's got an impressive cast doing some impressive things performance-wise. And it made me, for a movie I didn't like, wanting more, bizarrely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think I'd agree with you too. And that is a weird phenomenon. Where
Yes.
It's like, wow, I don't love how this all came together, but I do wish that I could see more. And this might be like a director's cut thing where this director's cut comes out and it's 4 hours long, and we're like, holy shit.
And
this
we're
is
getting
amazing.
more Austin Butler, more Emma Stone. Like,
Yeah.
That's the thing is, like, they introduced, like, said Ted Garcia's wife leaves. We never really find out. We never find out why at all. It just gets ignored once he dies. Emma Stone coming to grips with the fact that her father molested her is a giant plot point in this movie, or it should be. And
Does
instead,
she ever though?
I believe so, because she finds people that she never says it
Finds her
publicly in that
tribe.
last
See,
Facebook
I think
video.
Austin Butler is in the same boat where he was molested by his own father, and I think they've created illusions in their mind that there is a conspiracy and a cabal of higher up people and maybe not famous people, but powerful people who have hurt them in some way. That this is all part of a grand conspiracy to harm children, rather than just saying, dealing with, you know, the trauma of it was your parents.
Yeah.
Which I think Emma Stone, I think, is in that group where I don't think she's accepted the fact
You might be
that
right, because in that last
it's her
video,
father.
she says it wasn't Ted Garcia, but she never says who it was.
Yes.
So that's to your point. The other element, I would almost like say, they're with these other people that were in a cult
Yes.
that were also raped.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, like, there's...
You're finding your tribe, I think, is part of this too.
But,
Yes.
But like, give me... I want to know, like, what's going on with these people. Like I said, I think we all had kind of, like, Austin Butler's character. I thought was pretty interesting. Like, let's see more of this
That's part of the bother me.
person.
I want more of him, but I also loved how they deployed him, where he gives one of those performances where he comes in for 5 minutes and he's so magnetic. Like, it's like Val Kilmer, Brad Pitt. Like, there's very few actors that can just come in and just be that magic guy who you're like, yeah, I'd follow him. Like, yeah, he's
I'll
in
just follow.
fucking insane, and Joaquin Phoenix is like, that happened to you?
Yeah.
But you see how he's able to sway someone like Emma Stone and manipulate them while they're weak.
You know,
And Emma Stone looked so angry that he was questioning
Yes.
that, like
He's
glaring.
furious.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what else I like? Butterfly. The Native American fucking
yeah,
detective that was just there.
yes.
Like, he would just show up like he was
Which we haven't really talked about them yet. That's also an interesting juxtaposition to
The whole
have the
native part of
presence,
this,
and
yeah.
they're present throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Which I haven't really been able to grapple with what he's getting at there.
I don't either. And we're introduced to them in kind of a negative light, where they tell Joe to put a mask on when he's alone in a car.
Yes.
It's like, all right, you're just being like assholes to this guy, or you're a paranoid. And I think it leans more to just they just don't like Joe Cross.
Yes.
As the movie delves in, but as it delves in, we find out kind of Butterfly is the only one that kind of knows really what's going on here, especially after the murders are committed. And then it's like, no, Butterfly's the only guy that has like a head on his shoulders.
I liked
Well,
him just
not
showing
anymore.
up. Yeah,
That's true.
I liked him showing up like the waiter in Mr. Deeds. Like you turn around, all of a sudden he was just there.
He's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would just pop up.
But there is talk about the land being, they refer to it as being stolen, right?
Yes.
The Native Americans.
Yep.
But then it's also kind of like, it's in the movies almost treated as a way like, all right, this isn't even like that relevant anymore. Like, why are we talking about this? It's almost kind of like, even Ari Aster seems like annoyed at the premise of it.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting thing I haven't seen too much. Usually in film, they go out of their way to be like, oh, white man did steal this land.
Yeah.
But in this movie, it almost feels like Ari Aster's like, we don't care about this anymore, man.
Which
Move on. Which is an interesting take.
And I do think he's educated enough on that subject to have those kind of. He's from the area.
He's from
I
the
think
area,
he is
yeah.
very familiar with reservation life, how those people want to live and interact with, American culture. And I think he says some. Is it isolationist? What he's trying to say? That they bring it up several times. They're like, our police staff is like, we're better staffed. We have better equipment. We don't need your help. We're fine over here. I wonder what I'd love to hear him talk about it. And he talks a lot about his movies and often does not give many answers. He's kind of one of those guys that'll just kind of talk in circles. I'd love to hear him really, really dive in on this movie. And
He seems to be anti-isolationist because, like, when they come, they both arrive at the crime scene, and they could easily just work together and help each other
And they'd shade each
and
other.
get it. And to be fair, I think is it the Pueblos? Is that right? Am I saying that right?
Pueblos.
They seem more like, hey, let's figure this out together.
Yes.
and it's Eddington. It's the American people being like, no,
It's
like
our jurisdiction. Get out of here.
Be like get lost.
Yes.
I got the shell case.
And then another character that's really interesting about like race stuff is the black police officer.
Yeah.
Like you could see
it's another thing. It's like a little tug, but like you got to give him more.
Really interesting performance. You could see how he's like torn. He's like, all right, like a lot of stuff you're saying about Black Lives Matter are right, but I'm a cop and I can't march with you. And he's kind of this girl he's interested in is on the other. Like you can see kind of the conflict there. I think it's really well done. I'm like, I see more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think another thing I just remember that kind of made me laugh was the whole scene where they go to the blonde girl's house and she immediately abandons like all the dogma the second the cops come up and like she's
when I said take up arms, I didn't mean take up arms.
I didn't mean take up arms. I didn't actually mean this. I
What
didn't really
else
mean
could you
any of
mean?
this. It's like that. I thought was like another thing. Like it's interesting to cover that, and also Black Lives Brian turning into like right wing.
Oh,
he becomes the
fucking like Fuentes or Shapiro.
What's that guy's
no,
name?
what's the kid? The kid who
yes.
Rittenhouse.
The crime.
He becomes Rittenhouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's in Gainesville.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got like this whole like, life that's based around the entirely of the.
Endorsed by Marjorie Taylor Greene. Kill.
Yeah.
So much of this movie is hypocrisy.
Yes.
And like I think it's difficult to tell a story about hypocrisy because then you're just telling
you have no foundation. You're
right?
building a house on nothing.
Like when no one believes in anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that it's a movie that it's kind of weird to talk about because I think that even though for us, at least us two,
Mm-hmm.
we don't love a lot of stuff that was happening. You are, I think, on the opposite end of that.
Mm-hmm.
But we all are interested to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because the movie broaches a lot of very interesting topics.
Yep.
It's just a lot of little tugs instead of like fully unraveling a story, which I would agree. I would love to see. I'd watch the 6-hour movie. I'd watch the miniseries. I'd watch just a longer version of this where you get to explore all these things instead of just kind of like giving you little nudges instead of a full story.
I think there's also like a thing of like, your mileage may vary in that like I'm a story guy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I love story. Like I know Jeff is very much like a style guy. Like his favorite movies are
LZV.
like I love Ocean's 11, but like I think it's like his favorite movie ever because it's so stylized and it's so well done. Like we're F1 like I liked it, couldn't quite love it because the story was so weak.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it looked and sounded and was a very impressive action movie. So like if you're a story person, this probably isn't the movie for you. But if you're kind of a theme person, this might be the movie for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen scores. This is, I think, since the time I've been rating movies on Letterboxd for the past 2 years, this is by far the most divisive movie I've seen. Where I got people who are blue check marks, very hoity-toity people giving the movie half stars. Same number of those people giving it 5 stars, and the same thing with people who only see 5 movies a year. I see people giving it 5 stars, half stars, 1, 2, 3, and I read these reviews and I'm like, I agree with the points all these people are making. Like this is a very unique movie, where there's a lot of different. I accept how people react to this movie. There are movies where I'm like, this is a good movie. If you don't think this is good, you're a fucking idiot. Or it's bad and like, just this is a bad movie. What are we talking about here?
See,
this is one of those ones where I think like, if you thought this was a masterpiece, I get it. Like,
Me too.
I get it.
Right.
And if you thought this was a dumpster fire, I also kind of get it. Like, I get it.
I completely agree.
I think an important distinction here for Ari Aster too is he's a very big producer, and this is, I think, the way we're talking about this kind of proves it, of art versus entertainment.
Yeah.
Like this is obviously I think such like an art movie, because not like art house, like it's an artistic movie because all of us are talking about it and absorbing in different ways, and like we want to have like meaningful conversations about it. It's not like a roller coaster, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a fucking Marvel tentpole whatever thing where it's like, hey, we're just there for the ride and that's it. Like we are thinking about it, we're talking about it, we're doing all these things. Like I think, and that is a very important part of movies too, entertainment. So I think that's also a good thing.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's a very good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for his lack of like, I mean, he's had some box office hits, but he's not by far not a household name
He's
yet.
not bankable.
No.
He is, interestingly, like one of the like movers and shakers for the industry in terms of like Hereditary. I mean, kicked off elevated horror, like really cemented it as being here for the 2010s.
Yeah.
Midsummer only strengthened that. Beau's
$80
Afraid.
million on Midsummer.
Yeah,
or on Hereditary rather.
He's at the forefront, and I really appreciate directors who are making new things and really taking big swings like this, even if they don't fully connect for me every single time.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I agree a lot with that. Like it's fun to have a movie to talk about. I do these reviews where I crouch down, I do them, and I do I put them on TikTok. And I've seen so many comments from this movie, which is kind of crazy for a movie that made $4 million.
Yeah.
But I feel like the $4 million. So what is that? Whatever. Like
however many tickets.
500,000 people saw it, or less than that even. everyone wants to talk about it.
Exactly.
The 300,000 people that saw this are dying to talk about it.
Yeah.
So like that's gotten a lot more comments and a lot more views than a typical $4 million opening weekend movie has gotten, because everyone's dying to talk about this movie because there's so much. I'll give Aster credit. There's so much here. I think there's probably too much there, but there's so much there. And you know what? Like a movie that everyone's kind of dying to talk about, that's original, that's not IP, like and it kind of talks about something that was so important to all of our lives.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Like, was this the best movie I've seen this year? No. Is it like 51st for me of 80-something movies? Yes. But you know what? It's one of the more interesting movies I've seen this year.
Better or worse than Dan to Dan?
Better.
Significantly better.
I'm not the audience for Dan to Dan, I don't think.
Yeah.
But no, but like I have some much less interesting movies ahead of this.
I forget. Did you see Nija or no?
No,
They're re-releasing it in theaters.
Yeah, A24
I know
is
they're going to
re-releasing
re-release it in
that.
theaters. If they put it in
With the
1,000, I
dub?
have to see it.
Yeah.
It came out 900 before. I'm actually going to see an anime movie today.
What are you saying?
Something Raiden.
Raiden.
Oh, he's seen the Jujutsu Kaisen
Yes.
movie.
No,
Yes, that's
you
what
seen the JJK movie? Oh my god! And
Seen
that's
that today.
And those movies, out of all the movies that you ever watch, those need the most setup.
Yeah.
Like you need to watch.
You're
all
not
of
gonna
this
understand
shit.
the power
You're not
system
gonna
at
get
all.
anything that's going on.
It'll look cool.
That's like going to see fucking like Demon Slayer movie.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't understand.
I might have to see that. That's coming out in September.
That'll
Those
be
are great
huge
movies,
hit.
too.
That'll probably make like $100 million.
Dude, Mugen Train was
Not in the
unreal.
U.S.
Yes.
It will not. It will not make
That's
$100
how much
million.
It opened at 1 in the U.S. The last one did. It's like
yeah,
the
but then-
first
but then
anime
the
movie to
week
ever
twos,
do that.
They plummet. You have everyone rush out to see it. Like, I guarantee there's no
Give
way.
me the numbers, Kenjac. Give me the numbers.
Give me the numbers.
okay,
U.S.
so-
domestic.
Mugen Train, which is the last big one that we were just talking about, which is amazing. It made $490 million worldwide. It made $50 million domestic.
50?
It's still fucking pretty
50's good. It's not going
50's
to make
crazy.
100. It has that huge week one.
But this is also 20. This is 2020.
I'm,
It made that much money.
it will not make 100 million. I will have to see it. I will have to see it.
Bro, you weren't there for that. One of the crazier. You got to prepare yourself for that theater experience. Those fans
Go
are.
nuts.
They're like. You think like Spider-Man movies are crazy.
Oh,
you
so
think
this, though.
Minecraft
you think the Minecraft kids are crazy? No, these kids are like
As
they
it-
stink. They're sweaty. They're greasy.
Well, no, I had some of that with Dan to Dan.
Mhm.
I
I'm
will
sure,
say this. Last time I looked, no one is in this theater at all seeing this.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm hoping that's the case.
JJK, yeah.
If that's
no.
the case, I was like being.
I'd say Demon Slayer is definitely more popular than
For
JJK
sure.
by like a decent margin.
I'm hoping that.
Man, this opened at 21 in the U.S.
I think it was the first anime movie ever
in
to
2020.
open at 1
If
in
I
the
can
US.
just sit there by myself and just like kind of like just yell at this movie for annoying me, it's gonna make it a much better.
JJK is really cool too, which is kind of a bummer, but like there's
I mean,
so
I'll
much
give it.
backstory.
I'll give it a chance. I
You seeing
guess,
the
but-
dub or the sub?
I'm sorry. What now?
You seen
like
the dub
dubbed version
or
or
the
like
sub?
sub
Oh, I'm
version?
seeing. I will tell you. I want to see if there's anyone else.
Subtitles.
Let's
always do better for this.
let's wrap up on
I'm
Eddington
seeing
real
this-
quick.
English subtitles.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
And as of now, please.
Tell me
time are
it's
you
like
seeing
a
it at?
loaded theater.
Fuck. Now there's 7 people have bought tickets.
You got to go during the school day, brother.
Yeah, they're all still there. Yeah.
It was yesterday, last night. It was no one seen this.
Damn, dude. Yeah, but it's still the Demon Slayer. I would say.
Yeah.
well,
it's gonna be
that's coming out in
crazy.
September.
That I think if this in 2020 was doing $50 million, I think
I think
and it's
do
only gotten
buku
more
numbers.
popular over the last 4 years. It's going to be
I
even.
will say
crazier.
Dan didn't make a lot of money.
I don't.
No,
Dan Dan's
that's
nearly
not
as
that
People
big.
like Dan to Dan.
It's
Yeah,
not
it's
nearly
not
as
that big.
popular.
It's very new.
Demon Slayer is like the I don't know how to explain it. It's like the if there's a more comparable thing in anime, it's like fucking Marvel. Like I don't know,
Jesus.
like newish.
I know that new Zom movie made so much money. I'll say that.
Yeah,
that
that's
movie, like,
Chinese.
overseas,
Yeah.
not here, but like that made insane.
It made the most money. Like
I don't
any
know
anime.
anything about that one.
Yeah, A24 invited us to something like that. Which, by the way, we saw the Avatar 3 trailer before coming here. They
Oh,
Disney brought us in for a like 3D screening of it.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim still got it.
Brother.
He loves 3D more than anything in the world. My God.
It's like also the only franchise that I think I can stomach 3D in and like
Yeah.
enjoy 3D.
Yeah.
Like anytime I ever get stuck at a 3D showing, it like makes me actively.
stuck
I have
at
to
one.
usually take the glasses off because it makes me too
You
nauseous.
can't, but you can't. Then it's all blurry.
Yeah,
Oh, that's not good.
yeah. I know. Sometimes I
I
just
saw
have to
How
do
to
that.
Train a Dragon. I accidentally kind of time wise, I ended up being a 3D screen.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's always how it happens.
I will say, it wasn't a terrible movie.
No,
It was
it's a
more
pretty solid
entertaining than I
movie.
thought. The dragons were kind of scary.
Mhm.
For a kids movie,
Oh, the dragons were kind of scary.
for a kids movie, they were. I was expecting like much less. Like it was more like Game of Thrones kind of dragons. Like, all right, these are pretty scary looking
Okay.
dragons. And it was 3D. The 3D though was done well.
Okay.
The flight sequences in that movie are very good.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's not a terrible. If you have to bring your kid to something and they want to go to that, you can do a lot worse.
Wait till you see the flying creatures in Avatar: Fire and Ash,
Mm-hmm.
formerly the Seed Bearer.
So just to wrap up on Eddington, I think I'd score it somewhere like a 7, like low 7. I'd say like 71, 72,
Okay, yeah.
something like that.
I don't,
Again,
I don't understand your scoring system.
out of 100.
I know, but it's not out of 100. 50 would be average.
Well, I'd say like above average. I said like slightly above average.
You give it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. That's 70.
Yeah,
Who did?
I did.
You get 3.5 stars on
I
Letterboxd?
told you I like
That's
most of it.
crazy.
I just the narrative stuff bothers me. But it's,
Don't star shame.
The
Don't
I
technical
will
shame.
star shame. I will star shame.
The
All
technical
day.
stuff
All day
is-
I'll star shame.
I give
Why
it-
not?
I gave it 3 stars on my first viewing.
Which is normal.
4 stars on my
Oh,
second viewing.
such a big...
again
4
the
stars.
technicals and the
Bullshit.
stories that work are great.
I give it
It's
2
just the
stars on the
additional stuff.
Letterboxd, but I only give 4.5s and 5s very rarely. I do the really zero. It's really 1 to
Okay.
4 stars.
I give a lot.
I've given one movie all year over 4 stars.
I think I'm transferring. I think I might become a only whole stars kind of guy.
Get
No
rid
half
of the
stars. Get rid of the half stars.
I like the half stars.
Yeah. Anyway,
What,
so
what does Ari Aster have next? Do you have that pulled
he
up?
Good
is.
question.
We were just talking about this before. His next thing up. Remember, we looked this up. He's producing a Navy
Okay,
SEAL
yes.
movie that's being directed by David Ayer,
What is he-
starring Brad Pitt.
What is he
Like, what
writing
the
and
fuck
directing
is-
next? What is he writing?
No,
I don't care
that
about
was all on Wikipedia. It was
Oh,
just that.
really?
It was-
That's the question.
yeah.
Okay.
But
Well, I kind of like that he's.
doing something different.
I mean, what was it? 4 years between Hereditary and
I love his
Midsommar?
mind applied to
Yeah,
someone
how
else's
long-
work because he's only written really and directed his own stuff. So like, I kind of like the idea of his influence permeating on someone else's thing.
Yeah.
I think that could be cool, especially. from
He's 39, right? I looked it up.
Yeah.
He's 39. Once he kind of gets his footing, like I could see him making a great movie one.
Mhm.
oh yeah, big time.
Like
man.
a great movie one.
He's again all the technical ends. He's got it. He's got
Yep.
the juice.
10
in a
years from
huge
now,
way.
kind of like gets his, 15 years from now, slows down a little bit, relaxes, gets a little, more wisdom in his old age, can tell more like conducive story. Like
Mhm.
he can make a really good movie one day.
So next week we are going to be doing Fantastic Four: First Steps. I think we will also probably try to squeeze in a little bit of Happy Gilmore 2. Just two back-to-back bangers. I'm
When does
sure they
that
will
come
be.
out?
Happy Gilmore 2 comes out the 25th on Netflix.
Man.
Okay.
Man.
That is
I'm upset it's not being released in theaters.
what Happy Gilmore. Yeah,
I'm very
it's-
upset. We need more comedies in theaters. Obviously, Naked Gun coming out. Friendship, we saw. Like we need more comedies in theaters. And that was a
I would
movie that
agree.
would make money in theaters. It kind of sucks.
Oh my God, it would do. People would go just to bring their kids to something.
I
You know
think
what I
so,
mean? It would
too.
make money. It makes
So
no sense.
I'm definitely bummed out about that. Are you guys gonna see? I haven't seen Smurfs yet. I'm seeing that. I think next
I'm
week.
holding off on that as long as humanly possible.
Are you guys-
The Smurfs box office flop is very funny. I don't know if you've been following.
11?
Like, 11 million's on
Not
a
good.
$50 million budget.
Well, they
And
didn't market it. They gave up on it.
Apparently, it's just a piece of shit.
I'm sure. It is.
Yeah.
Smurfs.
My queen Riri was Rihanna.
Yeah, but I mean, Rihanna was also in like Valerian
It's
in the
very
World
funny.
of
What the fuck were they thinking making a goddamn Smurfs movie in 2025 though?
Yeah.
I mean, the
People
franchise
are-
was a joke in Donnie Darko. One of the jokes was that no one cared about the Smurfs anymore. Like, no one knew anything
People are
about the
clamoring
Smurfs.
for more Gargamel, I guess. But we also have Together on the 30th, which will be. I'm kind of excited for that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
interested in that. Very interested in that. Are you guys gonna see? I know you did last summer.
Yes, I'm probably gonna see that in the next few days.
I've never seen the original, so I'll probably just skip that one.
Yeah, you
Can
have.
you
You have to see the original to see it.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
minute long break? Skip ahead if you don't want a spoiler and I know what you did last summer. Can you tell me the cameo? Can you tell me the cameo? I heard there's a
He's gonna
god awful cameo.
What?
Oh,
you can tell me. I
okay.
don't care.
I wouldn't say god awful.
Oh, okay. I've seen a lot of chatter that it was terrible,
Oh,
but I don't know what it. No one has directly referenced it on my timeline. So I
I'm
don't
not
know.
gonna say what it is. I'll say this though:
Oh,
if you're
you're
a
gonna make me
child of
say
the
this.
'90s, like it's fun, but it's not unexpected.
Okay.
It's not that crazy of a cameo.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just not. But like so the first one came out in '97. I was 17, perfect age for it. Get to see Sarah Michelle Gellar and Jennifer Lopez in the same movie.
Bang.
Let's go. When you're that age, it's like
Yeah.
at that time that was
Oh,
all
yeah.
time. It had a really interesting performance by Ryan Phillippe,
Yeah.
Yeah.
who's actually quite good in the movie.
I mean, he
he's
was-
has spots, man.
we
He's
interviewed
a
him
good
once, and
actor.
he had like just a. I don't know really what happened to the career, but for a while there, he kind of looked like one of those next guys up.
I think
Yeah.
if you like I like doing baseball simulators and stuff. If you sim his career 10 times, like he
9
wins an
times.
Oscar like
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
Like his career should be better.
Yeah.
He-
Also, a cool guy. Had a lot of good stories about Clint Eastwood, which are.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
He has kind of a weird edge to him.
Yeah.
Which is fun. And for that movie, but this movie is lacking that. This is like
Yeah.
Saved by the Bell, the new class. Like you're missing kind of you're also like Sarah Michelle Gellar was a big part of the first one. Like that, she's a good actress. You know, like you're replacing these people with, some people I know like Madeline Klein. She's fine.
Yeah.
The kid who's in him, the horror football movie, he's in this, but the script is so bad.
Tyreek Withers.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. They have nothing to do.
Yeah.
This is not, and it also is very cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the three of us could have pooled money and made a more expensive looking movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We also, though, in the beginning of this month, we have Weapons coming up.
But yes.
let's
Very
go.
interesting. I'm actually really nervous and scared to see Weapons.
Every new trailer I see of it, I'm like more in on. I'm like, what the fuck is happening to these kids? Like,
I think that could be very upsetting.
yeah.
Could
And what the fuck is happening to Benedict Wong? What happened to his eyes, man?
What?
You ever seen the pictures of Benedict Wong in Weapons?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
How the fuck have you not seen those? Like,
No.
No, I've been watching the trailers, but I'm trying to know as little as possible going in because it's such a weird premise. I want to be as blind as possible.
I want to see.
Well, I mean, really.
You haven't seen like this screenshot anywhere?
Oh, I didn't even realize that was Benedict Wong.
Yeah.
Because he's so
I don't
bloated.
even want to show.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very excited for
the
that.
movies are good,
We
man.
got
No,
Nick-
like you remember like for a long time, August was kind of a dumping ground of shit.
Yes.
Until you have the fall Oscar movies. I feel like we're getting some pretty good movies in August.
We got a fucking Aronofsky movie coming out in August.
Like, let's go.
And we also have Naked Gun, which we've already seen.
Naked Gun, which
Go see
anyone who listens to this,
Go see it.
you're gonna love
Very
it.
excited to see that. Also,
see
like
it.
Toxic Avenger. I know it's like, but
Yeah.
that's a weird movie. Like, let's get weird in August.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the August
We
slate.
also have Freakier Friday, which I'm sure will still somehow make money. And,
Oh, the
Yeah, that's gonna make like $500 million.
the Margaret Qualley movie's coming out.
Honey, don't.
Could be horrible. Could be interesting. Could be fun.
It's the evil Coen brother.
Nobody 2, which I like the first Nobody.
I have to see it. I still haven't seen it.
Oh, Red Sonja. I keep forgetting they made a new Red Sonja movie.
They made a Red Sonja movie.
Oh yes.
Okay, I'm not
It's fucking like nobody's attached
terribly
to it.
thrilled about that.
Yeah.
The first one was very good.
Under Fire, Witchboard. Man, I mean, that's highest to lowest. I forgot. That's
Oh,
also end of
yeah.
August.
August has some interesting movies.
Well, the back half of this year is really packed, so I get why they've kind of pushed some stuff
I
up.
forgot about Eden, the Ron Howard movie that's coming out with like just
That's
like
gonna-
stacked cast.
That feels like one of those movies that's gonna come and go, and people are gonna
Never
forget
remember.
that it even existed.
But survival thriller with Jude Law, Ana de Armas, and Vanessa Kirby and Sydney Sweeney. It's just like, here, let me just cast 3 of the hottest humans.
Directed by
on the
Ron
planet.
Howard,
Go.
But directed by,
the
screen?
sexiest director in Hollywood, Ron Howard. That's what we're doing.
I was in New Orleans, I think, a few months ago, and they had like you could bet on the Oscars there.
Yeah.
And they had like the movies that are up for Best Picture, right?
Sure.
The potentials. All but like had Sinners in there. Everything else was like coming out the fall or later. Like obviously it's usually the case, but usually you have a few movies break through.
Sprinkles, yeah.
This was like this entire slate is so backloaded
Yeah.
of great movies. So I'm really excited for the fall.
Same. But again, for Fantastic Four and probably Happy Gilmore 2 for next week, and we will see you guys then. And we also have a very special treat. So
Yeah.
for you,
Stay tuned.
next episode. We'll say stay tuned for that one. So we have a very special treat for you. But until then, we will see you guys next week.